Hello everybody, welcome to today's Advent calendar unwrapping with tips and tricks of what you could potentially make with it. I'm waiting for some more people to join us as this is live, always a day late, so today is the 9th of December, but you're actually looking at the parcel from 8th of December 2024 of the Maker's Advent calendar. Oh my goodness, it's been so exciting. The last 7 days, we have made so many things from, let's try and remember this, from a really fancy brooch pin um, to Albert Einstein's tree decoration, hanging tree decoration. I've seen the best ones, amazing. We have made landscape picture, mini landscape picture. We've had the tweed fabrics with embellishing with needle felting motifs and the little handmade labels. And of course, we've had fun making a non-needle felting project in pom-poms and tassels. All of it has been absolutely so inspiring to see you make. And today is yet another one. I will show you in a minute what we're making, but first we need to unwrap parcel number 8 of the Advent calendar. It's very color matching with me today, but I'm going to say hello first to some of you who are watching here right now. Claudia says, hello, are you there? I hope you can hear me all right. I know the sound hasn't been so good on the front camera, but apparently really good on overhead. And in case you haven't spotted her, I've got my friend Honey here again. Good girl. You're such a good. She's all curled up next to me on her chair. Just about big enough for her to not fall off. I am actually a little bit afraid that she fall off the back, so I'm pushing her forward a little bit. And we have got Pip who says hello everyone. Nicola says hello. I'm sneakily watching while working. Gina says morning all from a sunny but damp Lincolnshire, just taking a break from putting up Christmas decoration. Oh, it's so much hard work putting up Christmas decoration. Oh, yes, you definitely need a break. Paul says good morning, Steffi and fellow Felters. Well, good morning, Paul. Claudia says Albert Einstein. Did I miss that one? You must have. You must have. It's was it day number 2? I don't know, but there is going to be an email going around soon sharing the links of all of the YouTube tutorials that now exist after the Advent calendar makes. And it should go to everybody who signed up to our newsletter. So if you're not signed up to the Makers newsletter, you'll be missing it. Sign up now, and then you won't. Oh yes, she's a felter in the making. I think she's better at dismantling it than putting it all together. Right, let's get on. Yeah, forward a little bit. Here we go. That's better. So today is number 8, and I'm going to just quickly go overhead with the camera. And number 8. So somebody sort of took away my sneaky little secret of how you open these parcels without destroying it all, and actually you can get into them much better here at the back. So I have done this before myself, so you can keep the front nice and tidy. Now don't get ideas of sneaking into a parcel beforehand, but what we have in here is actually another structural core felt, and I'm particularly proud of this one because this one here is actually the structural core is from the UK, is plastic free and fully compostable. It's the Herdwick structural core, so it's from the Herdwick sheep, from the popular cutest looking sheep here in the UK. We already love our white structural core, but this one is even better. Made from Herdwick sheep wool in Yorkshire with Hessian as a base. This makes it 100% compostable, plus you get a British breed wool supporting British farmers and producers. A win-win. And I'm so excited to use this today. You would never think that this lovely felt sheet, which by the way, if you do suffer with respiratory illnesses, you might want to not breathe this fiber in, because just from unpacking it, there are bits coming off, and I'm going to cut this as well. But what I have made from this, I will show you. Are you ready? I've made this from it. And so all you need today is this. You need some green wool. I've used the moss green, which is an Australian merino. It's a mottled wool. Absolutely love this. You need a little bit of red for the, I've actually used the top on there, but I'm using the sparkly red. And then you just need a multi-tone wool so that you can put some decorations on it. So that's it really. In fact, I used a little bit of that as well. But you can use your own colors. So all of these you obviously don't get in the calendar, but this is the most important part. Without this structure is almost impossible to make. So what I have done is, let's leave it here. I have made a little template, but I can talk you through the template. So if you imagine you've got that in front of you, which I know you have because you do, then you need something that will fit, something like this. So what I would suggest is to, how can I describe this? So let's measure it. So you need to go from your, let's go, sorry, you can't see the tape measure, but I'm just going to do this. So you need 10 centimeters. Go from this corner to that corner, 10 centimeters, and actually do a cut, shortcut. Okay, so that I have made a shortcut that from here to there is 10 centimeters. Okay, and then you measure from, it's not a perfect template. Then you measure from here to there, and that is 5 centimeters. So you cut this off altogether. 5 centimeters, cut that off. This is only because you don't have that template. So I'm trying to help you make the template without having to actually have the template. And then you cut from this cut here to the corner, you cut that straight. Okay, so go from here all the way to the cut you've made. There. So then you've got that, like that. And then ideally what you need to do is you need to cut from here, from this corner to this corner, you need to cut that in a how can I explain that? In a very generous bow, not bow, round. So I'm just going to cut this so that you have a nice round shape. So this should look like that. Okay, so it's like a round shape, and if you fold it inside on top of each other, it should look like that. So let's just do that last bit again, because that is probably the most complicated part. Is that what I did? Was it that way? Can't even remember now. You know, it was this way. So you have your shape that looks like this there, and then you just cut that part here round, so you've got a triangle with a round base, like that, roughly like that. I've done that template before. And now you can fold your tree in so that these bits meet here in the middle. And don't worry if it's not a perfect fit, because you can actually trim bits off still. But the main thing is that we are now going, these are all the bits, we do need them still, so don't get rid of them. Now we're going to start coloring in and joining the seam so that it holds together. And the best way to do that is by starting to felt the green wool down here on the edge. And I'm going to use my medium felting needle. So I'm starting to add the wool here to the edge, like that. I can also give you the measures of this template if that makes more sense. Let's just do that. So this is my template, and it has got, it's got 10 centimeters here, 10 centimeters there, and then it's rounded off. And the bit from end to end is about, well, it should be, it's about 19 centimeters. So from here to there, which it should be properly from here to there, but it's a bit wonky, is 19 centimeters, and this is 10 and this is 10, and then the rest is round. So if that helps you make up your own template, if you find it too hard to follow what I just did, then do that. In any case, you end up with a triangle that has got a rounded base, and I'm just felting the wool onto the edge, onto one of the straight edges. So, but I'm doing it with an overlap, so I've got these bits overlapping. I'm going to do that all the way around. I just love that little Christmas tree so much. Again, it's lovely to make use of what you've got, rather than looking at something and thinking, oh, I want to make this, now I've got to find the bits. So there is a bit of a trick to it still, because it's actually quite flexible inside, and it does stand up. So I'm gonna lie it down so you can see it. But I'm going to felt this wool down like that, so you can see it's now overlapping. And now I'm going to close it up by pulling the wool across to the other half. So this might sort of be, you might need to make several attempts, and you can cover it again, but it's just so that you're felting into the other straight edge, but this time you're allowing the needle to stab sort of into nothingness. So make sure that you don't stab into your fingers. So now I've closed it up. It's not perfect yet, but it will be, because I'm going to cover more green over that seam and felting it down. So you want to stab it all the way. At the top you can go all the way through. What will happen, however, is because it's quite a coarse wool, the Herdwig, it's one of the coarsest wools that I know exists. You will also stab the Herdwig out at the other end, especially here at the tip. So be mindful of that. And then, so when you get to the bottom here, you can actually put your felting mat inside. That makes it a lot easier and cover more of that seam. You also want to go around the base a little bit, so you want to go around the edge a little bit, but we can do that later as well. So now it's just a question of adding more green wool to the rest of that cone shape, felting it down. I love this moss green. It's such a lovely, it's very soft, but also it's mixed with a lighter green, and so you get a really mottled, lovely effect. And it works really well for a Christmas tree to add a little bit of texture rather than just making it a single color. And is it bad that I fall in love with my own designs? Is that bad? I always feel a little bit, what's the word? Self-satisfied. A little bit, yeah. I do apologize, but I suppose it's the best way, because you don't want to not like it and then try and sell it to other people. So at least you know whatever I'm trying to make you do is what I love myself, and I feel like you're enriched by it, making it. So rather than I'm not doing it so you can drool all over me. It's more, honestly, I just think everybody needs a little Christmas tree like that in their lives. And this core wool is perfect for that, because the darker base actually makes it much easier to cover it with a darker green color. So makes so much more sense than using our current structural core, which is of a very light color, to do this. So if some of you have followed us for a little while, we did a Craft for Cats project where we actually used the darker core wool to make darker cats and the lighter core wool to make the lighter cats. So the cone shape is not a new thing. We have done this before, but I've not made a Christmas tree out of it. So this is a new one. But no advent calendar would be complete if there wasn't a Christmas tree in it, as indeed there was last year, where we used a little pine cone and decorated it with colorful wool balls, which was actually a very simple idea but very effective, to make a little decorated tree shape. So felting this down all the way around. Now don't worry too much if when you stand the cone up and it looks a bit wonky, because you are actually we're going to put inside the Christmas tree stem, but if it does bother you, then you can always shape the edge off by just cutting it a little bit more, or add a bit more green on the side where you need to extend the base. I'm just going to have a little look whilst I'm doing this, what people are saying. I've left my Christmas decks up till Easter, so it was worth the work and enjoy it as did my grandson, says Claudia. Oh, that's amazing. Claudia says, wow. Stacy says, nice tree, frozen morning here in Rhode Island, East Coast, USA. Well, we've had probably one of the worst storms of the year over the weekend. I think there's been a lot of hardship, especially in Wales and the southwest of the UK. But other areas have been affected as well, with trees down and electricity out and water out and all the sort of things. It's best to get it out of the way before Christmas, I suppose. One Christmas we had no water. First of all, we had no electricity, and then that came back on. And then we had no water. And I actually genuinely never know what is worse, no water or no electricity. Probably neither is very good. But it all happened exactly around the time we were cooking our Christmas dinner. So yeah. But anyway, it wasn't for very long, so we were lucky. But some people have been out of electricity for, well, over a day now. Carol says, always blow your own trumpet loudly. Oh my goodness. Yes, I know I should be much better doing that. But yeah, I'll learn. So felting that green wool down and going over the edge as well so that it's nicely finished off here. When you felt it in from the inside, make sure that you stab it from the other side again, because you are definitely pushing that Herdwick core out. So just go over it from the outside again to put it back. And then I've just got the last tiny bit here, and then my tree cover is done, and then I can work on the other bits of the tree. A really simple, a very, very easy project to make. And making use of the structural core makes sure that you get that very solid conical shape, which would normally be quite hard to create, or you have to make a solid shape, but it's not necessary. You can literally save your wool, use the core, and make that shape that way. So just felt that down. So easy. Here we go. So there's a cone, a little bit wonky still, but who cares? Trees are wonky in general. And now I'm going to make it a, so this part that you've cut off, that 50 centimeter part, that's going to be the pot that it's sitting in. But the rest of it, we're now going to turn into the tree trunk. So you can actually cut this a little bit, make it into a, and I'm going to double it up so that I have to make it a little bit more sturdy. Now ideally these should be so that a little bit pokes out at the bottom, but I am, and this is something I didn't tell you, I've just remembered you do need a little bit of brown, and I don't think I've brought any with me unless there is, oh, what is that? Okay, I just need to reach over to my spare jar. I mean, to be honest, it doesn't have to be covered, but it's easier to fasten it on if you had a little bit of brown wool. So I'm just going to grab a bit of brown wool out of this stash here, and it's easier to join them together as well. So all I'm doing is I'm just literally wrapping it around it nice and tight, and then I'm felting it down. There. I always advertise these magnetic needle holders, and do I ever put my needle down? Now I am, so I know exactly where it is, and it doesn't go anywhere. They're brilliant, by the way. If you haven't got one yet, definitely worth the investment, even one or two or however many, because what I do is I write on them what's in it, and then I know when I grab one, what needles I can expect in there without having to look too much. So felting the brown down. You don't need to go too much overboard here because it's going to be so well hidden. The main thing is that you do add a little bit of brown wool on either end, because that will help it fastening it onto the tree and then also the pot. So just getting that felted down. Now I'm going to pop that inside my tree like this. So I still got a bit poking out, that's the main thing. And I'm going to stab into the tip because I know I'm actually stabbing into the tree trunk now. And you're felting the wool down onto the top of that. Oh, no, that was too premature to talk about this. So I probably need to felt down a little bit more, down the tree a little bit more. It wasn't catching into the trunk. So it's probably not all the way up in the tip because it's too narrow. So I'm going down a little bit to get it felted on. If you can manage, you can go from the inside as well, but it's quite a long way in. So I'm not sure if you manage to do that. So from the outside, it should be enough to just get it fastened on. Like that. And now it's holding, yay! So it's inside the tree now. And I'm going to just prepare my bucket now. So with the leftover of your core wool, you can actually, if you wanted to, you could fill this with this to make it slightly bigger. So if you want to use it all up, do so. There. And it makes the circumference a little bit broader. And then you can actually already just stab into this without adding wool on it, just to hold its shape, because the wool will just felt in on itself. Oh, no live stream without a sneeze. So get that felted down already a little bit, so you don't have to rely entirely on using the cover to felt it down. And then like I said, I'm using a little bit of sparkly red here now because it's just so lovely and festive. Just a little bit of sparkle. Wrap that around it like you did with the tree trunk, and then felt it down. You can try and felt it slightly tapered if you want it to be slightly broader at the base. Add a little bit more wool to it. This is just my first layer. So I'm going to go over it again. There we go. Felt it down. Yes, and just coming back to, if I didn't like what I'm making, I could never teach it to you, because I just need to believe in what I'm doing. Otherwise, that would be so fake. I'm not like that. Right. So lots of you are watching but not saying very much. It's probably very fascinating watching me do this. So I'm going underneath it as well. But I'm not covering it in red on the top, because you could actually use a little bit of brown for soil if you wanted to. So just covering the base up, felting it down. Now remember, you can do this a lot more thorough, take a lot more time doing it. I'm just rushing it a little bit now so that it's not such a long stream. You can also use a 5 needle clover tool and speed the process up on that bucket a bit, on that red base, and make sure that you keep the base nice and felted in. So almost concave is a good idea. Having a slight dent in there is better, because it makes sure that the tree stands neatly, rather than having a bulge there that will make the tree fall over. So nice and solid base there. and just finishing off here at the top. So whether you're using a bat or a top, it doesn't really matter. Same with the tree. Here is a good opportunity to de-stash your stash. So tops or bats either. Sometimes we have lots of tops because that's usually what people buy first when they don't know about needle felting and they haven't met us. And there, believe it or not, but many people are still out there who are persevering with tops. It's a mystery to me, but I love needle felting with bats because they make a much quicker shape, super easy. So now I'm going to put a little bit of brown on top of here for soil. Just felt that down into the center. And then I'm going to fasten my tree on, but not just yet. Before I fasten my tree on, I'm actually going to decorate it. So we don't want to mess too much with the tree once it's it's on there. So let's finish it off. But that's basically my base where my Christmas tree will sit on. And yes, you can be a little bit more careful in finishing off that edge more nicely than I have done. Let's just do it. Felt that down. And then it's not, you're not going to see very much of that because the overhang of the tree will sort of prevent you seeing it, but you know it's there. If you know it's there and you want it gone, then neaten it up a little bit. And I quite like it when the tub the tree is in. It's a little bit more narrow at the top than at the bottom. It does also make it actually stand better if you've got a broader base. But instead of felting this more narrow, you can also add more red around the base to broaden it a little bit. I don't know if the camera does it justice, but it's a really lovely sparkly, just a very subtle sparkle in that wool. So decorating the tree, I happen to have two tops here. They're sort of a bit of an offcut. I'm going to tease off a whole length of this one here. And I'm just going to felt this down like a garland going around it, or like a light chain going around it. Fasten it on at the top, like that. I just want to show you, get rid of these bits here, just to remind you what we're actually making. There we go. That's the tree I'm trying to make. So I've used a different wool here, but I'm just going to go round in a circular way, working my way down the tree, all the way down. And if it's not enough, I can start with another bit. And this is just so that you have a almost like a little light chain or imitation of a light chain, and then just felt that down gently, going all the way around. So you don't need to fasten it too much onto the tree. It just needs to be so it doesn't come off. We do want to maintain some 3D aspect here. I'm gonna keep it at that length. I could continue a little bit more, but I think it's okay to have it like that. And then I'm going to start adding little lights to it, and balls and baubles and tree decorations. And what I love about using the this kind of wool is that you can tease a bit off, and you get not just the pink, but you get a little bit of the other colors as well. So I'm actually just going to fasten them on at random onto the tree, but I'm not going to stab them down too much, so that I'm keeping a little bit of the 3D-ness going, and then maybe take it from the other end. See what you come up with there. A little colorful. You don't have to use a multi colored wool. You can just use a plain wool and then just add little color baubles onto it, or decorations. You can use our own little sort of tree. We had a little tree light string before in one of our advent calendars, and have been Some of you will be lucky enough to get them with the lucky dips. Not everybody will get them, but you can use little miniature tree lights. You could even use one that you can plug in and light up. So working on going all around the tree. You can make small ones, big ones, whatever takes your fancy. You can stick just with traditional colors, just have them in red, maybe a golden color, red and yellow. I'm just going to throw a little bit of the multi, that nice sort of red color in there. Pop that here. And remember that if you're stabbing into the tree where you're going through the inside and you're felting literally into nothing, don't have your finger on that inside, because you'll go straight into your finger. That would be not so good. And so you get the idea that you are decorating the tree with random little colorful blobs. There. We need something there. Let's go. We haven't had blue yet, have we? So let's go for a bit of blue here. Scrunch that up. Pop that here. Of course, you can needle felt little balls painstakingly if you want to, and then put them on so they look literally like little baubles. You can make miniature candy canes if you wish, or anything that takes your fancy. So there's the tree that I made before, there's the tree I'm doing now, but I also want to make that little star. Now that star isn't the easiest thing to do when you do it freehand, I will be honest. Okay, so what I've done is, and I haven't got any, have I got yellow? Oh, I'm gonna get some nice yellow. Nice yellow from, stay there honey, good girl. Nice yellow from the Advent project. I'm gonna pinch a bit of neon yellow. If you've got it, you might be able to just get away by pinching. Don't know you're gonna be famous. Well, lie down. Right. So nice bit of bright yellow, which is from the Advent project. I'm going to turn that into. It's like I say, if you're doing this freehand, it's not the simplest thing to do. Look how messy that Herdwick core is. So I'm going to, and look. So this is what I mean about, make sure you don't breathe it in. So you could, in theory, make the star by just making a star shape on your felting mat. So just felting the outline. If you do have a water-soluble paper, that would be good as well. Use that to use as a... The reason why I'm quite confident that I can make stars is because my surname actually means star in German. And as a child, since I was a child, I have been drawing stars. You wouldn't believe how many stars I've been drawing, hundreds of them. So I feel quite confident that I can needle felt stars standing on my head. But you never know, they might go wrong. So I've literally needle felted the outline of the star shape. And now I'm felting the wool on the outside in. It's quite, stars, you often think stars must be such an easy shape to do, but it's actually not, because they have spikes. So felting that down. In a minute I'm gonna have to lift this off the mat because it's getting very, very felted on. So I'm just following sort of an outline. There's a bit missing on that part. That might be what's actually going on the tree. Okay, so taking this off, and now I'm going to felt it from the other side. But I tell you what is really, really useful when you needle felt this, and that is our edging tool. once you have got it, you will use it all the time, because that's exactly a job for an etching tool. Get the dent felted in and go around the edges. You genuinely don't know what you're missing if you haven't got one yet. Felt that side down. It is just, it's the best. It really is. And I'm not saying it's going to be very even, but it will be a star. So anyway, I don't want to give too much away, but if you've got the advent calendar, you might be in luck. Right, so getting there slowly but surely. Well, one bit needs to be fastened on. So also the other thing is, of course, if you needle felt something really solid, then you can actually cut it also with your scissors. So felt it down a bit more. There's one spike that's very, very weak, so I'm going to add a little bit more yellow on top of it. Just felt that down. And make it a little bit stronger. Yeah. Pop it back into the edging tool. The beauty about these edging tools is that you can see where your needle is going. So some people have been using cardboard, and I'm not for 1 minute claiming that the concept of putting two shapes together and felting into the inside is mine, but I don't know that anybody else has been, certainly not that I've seen advertising using clear shapes. So, oh dear, oh dear, are you falling off that chair? Good girl. Oh dear, I knew she was going to fall out the back. Oh dear, she's quite a big long-legged dog, and she's on the tiniest surface there. I'm so sorry, honey. It's all right, don't worry, you haven't done anything wrong. So okay, right, so star now needs to go on top of the tree, so that requires a little bit of felting onto it. Again, if you are doing this at home, you might want to make the star even neater. Like I say, you can cut the edges neat as well. Oh, this one doesn't want to stick. Okay, so felt a little bit further up. So I've got to felt the tip of the tree onto the star without making it too obvious. Right, now it's on. I can go into the top a little bit, catching the yellow wool and pushing it into the tree. A little bit more. And doing that all around, trying not to make the star wonky. But I think that's on there now. And so the final thing that remains is fastening the tree onto the pot. So for this you have got the end of the stem, and I'm going to just add a little bit more brown wool to the end here. I'm actually deciding to make that a little bit more shaped, so it's not too broad. You could have also opened up these and make them sit on top if it was too long, but mine is just the right length. It just needs a little bit more preparing, so just adding a little bit more brown around the base. And then I'm going to fasten it onto my little pot and hope for the best, that it will balance without toppling over. So nearly there. I'm going to open these up a little bit, these wispy ends, pop it onto there, and then felt really hard into the brown wool that's on the shape, but also I'm felting into the shape at the same time, so that tree trunk that I made. So I'm tucking away the brown into the pot, but I'm also edging my way up now to get the actual structural core felted into the pot as well. So I'm pushing it down by the fibers, pull it down towards the pot. Don't be too far away from the core wool. So I think it's balancing. Yay! Here we go. Right. So let's have a look. There's the one I made just now. Here we go. And here's the one I made before. Quite similar. Different color star, slightly different design. This one is a little bit lower down. This one is a little bit higher up. But they are actually staying put. And if for whatever reason you find it hard to balance your tree, just give it a little back and forth and it will be fine. It's actually standing quite well. There you go. A little wobble, just like a real tree. So I hope that this has been inspiring for you to make things from the Advent calendar. I'm absolutely, it's so nice to be able to do this whilst I'm actually based here at the headquarters. Last year I had to sort of fit everything in a round show, so I'm doing way too much space. But you can make your little tree from the structural core in day number 8, and you just need a little bit of scrappy wool, whatever you've got. It's not very much. A little bit of red, a little bit of green. You can, if you haven't got enough of the same color green, mix it and then cover the tree. The more variegated it looks, the better. And then all you need is a little bit of colored wool to baubles. If you've got a wool top, you can wrap that around like I have, and have a go at a star and see what you think. But if there isn't a star at the top, the tree will still be complete. Absolutely. So I'm just saying goodbye to everybody who's been watching, and I shall see you again tomorrow. Angie says, hello everyone, I love the edging tools, one of the best things I've bought from the makers. Excellent answers. The edging tools are a must for everyone's equipment stash. My fingers are very grateful for that. I use. Well, Anne, where are you watching from? You're definitely not in the UK. Oh my goodness, Stacey says, prove it, stand on your head and draw a star. I probably could, but I won't do it today. Maybe another day. I'm watching and enjoying my morning cup of coffee, says Stacey, so I'm reading backwards. Lisa says, morning Steffi from a damp grey East Sussex. I would rather watch you than have to do the hand sewing on my hubby's trousers. Well, tell him to do it himself. That's it. Why do women always have? Gina says, you could felt the trunk into the pot first, then felt the trunk into the tree afterwards. You certainly can. If that works for you, go for it. Right, that's all from me today, and I shall see you again, I guess, tomorrow.